me feeling like I'm academics.
When you watch like a good like reality show, they got like the confessional. Well, maybe I shouldn't say confessional because these niggas were really confessing. But this is like the after show. This is like the recap. You know, yesterday was some wild shit going on, and today we're doing a recap. We got a few more characters. They want to jump on this bitch in a couple days. I guess it's going to have to be a couple days because I am going to be not at my setup. So what we're going to do is today we're going to review, and we have gotten the full collect calls, I guess, from jail that Young Thug was calling his celebrity friends, and apparently there's a lot of gossiping going on. Now, this is important because we get to understand Young Thug's state of mind. Honestly, he's saying a lot on these phones, but you got to imagine he was incarcerated for 3 years. He was locked up for 3 years. And while being locked up for 3 years, you could tell he couldn't wait to have a listening ear to kind of get off his feelings, but also it gives us a lot of insight about how he came to some of these decisions. Whether, you know, he discusses whether he could forgive Gunna or not. It kind of shows the peer pressure in. And I'm got to be honest with you. It kind of shows how, like, you know, I don't know if we want to call Thug a manipulator, but these dudes kind of really listened to him and wanted to appease him. Now, is it out of fear? Is it out of, oh, they look at him as a big brother, the big homie? Thug kind of came before a lot of these guys. And maybe it's one of the two. Regardless, we're watching Young Thug in jail, or we're hearing him, and he's talking to, and by the way, here's the thing too. The idea of no pillow talking, he's on the phone with his girl talking about business. He's saying everything to everybody, okay? And it's kind of ironic because somebody said this about Thug. Thug went his whole career without doing interviews, right? This was one of the notable interviews he did. And he also did a Breakfast Club interview, Young Thug Breakfast Club. And it was one of the only times he actually did interviews. He was known to not do interviews, okay? You know what everybody's saying? His best interview yet is with the goddamn cops. He's never been that talkative. You see, in these interviews, you have to kind of pull information out of him. When he was talking to the cops, yo, take my number. Yo, hold on, I got to go to court. I'll be back. Double back on it. Never heard him so talkative, right? So I guess for me as like, you know, forget a civilian, just me as an interested person in rappers and their thoughts, it was interesting to hear Young Thug, you know, not only do that in an interrogation tape, but we're now listening to all of these things kind of come out in a jail calls. Now, if you're wondering how the jail calls are getting out there, I'm almost certain Gunna's team is leaking it to his fan pages. I'm almost certain, okay? I know they're not going to agree to it, right? But I'm almost certain that Gunna's lawyers pulled, because, yes, when you're in the case, you don't have to go through a Freedom of Information Act or anything like this, and some of these things would even be available, or it could be challenged if you try to do a FOIA on it. But it appears all of these things may have been gotten from maybe somebody who was in the case that would request them, and it could have been something for the nature of an appeal or something like that, so the courts are going to give it up because you're a defendant. So for me, I can't tell why there is, like, where's Gunna's calls? Like, we want to hear Gunna's calls, right? And by the way, you could tell maybe they were both doing it to each other. There's a time where Thug actually says he has been having his lawyers review Gunna's call, and Gunna is on the phone talking to a girl saying, I love you, I'm going to come home soon. And he basically even thinks that Gunna got out of jail early because he wanted some vagina, which, bruv, if that's the case, the streets is cooked. A man get a little bit horny, he might kill his own mans. They're saying Gunna made the statement, YSL's did this, YSL whatever, because Gunna was pillow talking with a girl in jail, and she's saying, I miss you, and he's saying, I got to get home to you, and he said he going to figure out a way, and the way he figured out was to say, YSL's again. Now, this is going to be interesting, and I wonder what you guys, and we're about to play these audio right now, but I wonder where you guys fall on all this stuff. Here's what I think. I know some of y'all are now dogpiling on Thug because y'all want to say, Thug, you're worse than Gunna. But I think what's important to know is that there's not one solid motherfucker in this situation at all, right? So if your demeanor is, let's give you the same treatment as Gunna, cool, but this doesn't make Gunna look innocent. Gunna's still exactly what people claim he is. The point is, maybe we don't blame Gunna as much because nobody was, quote unquote, sticking to a code. We haven't heard from Lil Baby and 21 Savage, who unfortunately is kind of caught up in some of these calls. He's, well, I'm a little bit biased because he's my homie. I think he looks like the most solid person in this, but then again, he's not being charged with anything, right? So, anyway, you're going to hear a very nasty game of telephone, and I think this is the precursor for episode 3 of the war in Ratlanta, okay? Let's go check this shit out. Okay. Here we go, people. Here we go. Now, let's actually the call that I care about more, and I'm gonna play this one first, is the call which I believe is between Thug and Mariah the Scientist. Now, I have a theory that we're gonna get into, and I think this is gonna be for episode 3. Episode 3 of War in Atlanta is the business side of things. Clearly, these niggas were all acting like they're John Gotti, like they were Pablo Escobar. They were so tough in the streets. And maybe they are. Maybe they got people killed. Who knows? But they all telling, right? What's important for episode 3 in my mind is this. We're going to get to the business, the money, the manipulation. Because in every good street story, you ever watch Narcos? Yeah, you got the guys who are tough, ego this, ego that. Yo, you're a rato, what, all of that. I love Narcos, by the way. Okay, even the El Chapo series too. And what's also going to be important is that while all this stuff is going on, these guys are millionaires. So if we really think about this like on some narco shit, the music is their drugs. These are all millionaires. The music is their drugs. But you're seeing them use these street perspectives to try to influence business. Like, for example, this is Young Thug and P. If you don't know who P is the boss of Lil Baby. He founded QC, the label. They have a management company called Solid Foundation. And essentially, Lil Baby signed to him. Now, P is a street dude historically from Atlanta who now got in the game, and he kind of renounced the streets because he's doing business. You know, he's doing legit business. Now, some people, and I'm going to give you all sides of everything, chat, some people look at P as a rat. Why? They said that when he was in the streets, he cooperated, and that kind of forced him into civilian life because he couldn't still be a street dude. However, remember Thug, his disposition is he hates all rats. So because he sees him as a rat, but also it's manipulation. Thug is and again, some of this is my opinion. This is how I'm forming my opinion by kind of putting all these pieces together. This is why these things are important that I like kind of like listen to these tapes. It appears that Thug is trying to influence the rappers who their number one care is not business. Remember, Lil Baby gets hundreds of millions of dollars from P. But Thug gets his respect, and he wants to show out for Thug because Thug is the streets. So he'll say, fuck the business. I want to look good in the streets' eyes, and Thug is like the epitome of the streets. So what that happens is Thug gets to kind of almost mentally manipulate these dudes to say, yo, if you really streets, money shouldn't matter, dog. You should be able to say, fuck that nigga because he's a rat, right? So it's almost putting Baby in a weird spot where it's like, wait, I'm street. I gotta be street. I can't do stuff with a rat, but I'm already signed. And then Thug does something really interesting. It's classic manipulation. He starts to basically, I don't even know if it's turning Baby against P, but he kind of starts to put it out there to say, not only is the guy you're doing business with in the streets, he's considered a rat, which makes you look crazy because you're a street nigga next to a rat. Thug does something even better. Thug uses the business to act like P is snaking Baby. Okay, what happens? QC, the label, gets sold for $300 million to Scooter Braun, right? Scooter Braun. Braun, I think it's Hybe, buys QC. He paid $300 million, okay? So Scooter Braun's company buys buys QC for $300 million. Now P is kept on as the boss because he's a great talent curator and he grows a great talent. So he's getting paid. I believe he probably has like some ownership in publishing or masters, but necessarily QC is kind of ran and their catalog is kind of owned by this other company, but he's still the face of it. It's like UFC. Technically, Dana White, they sold the UFC, but Dana White is still the CEO, and I think he has a board position. You get what I'm saying? So that's how business goes. So P's still in charge of QC, but he got a big check. Now, you know how Thug manipulates that. And I won't say manipulation because, I'm using the word manipulation because we're not hearing from Lil Baby. Like, we haven't seen the ability for Lil Baby to say, this is what I think, and this is what I'm going to do. And by the way, he doesn't have to speak, but when you don't speak, people speak for you. So they get $300 million for this label. Thug is in Baby's ear saying, yo, that company didn't even want the full label. You're the hot shit right now. They wanted to just buy your shit for $150 million. And supposedly, Baby never, didn't follow up with certain meetings. And the company went around Baby's back, since Baby was kind of not really, I guess they were trying to buy him out of his deal. They just ended up buying the whole label. So they were going to buy him out of his deal for $150 and have him signed. Baby was like, and they said, oh, you can't make your mind up? All right, fuck it. We'll just go to your bosses and give them double for everybody. And they bought the entire 300. Now, when the purchase happens, P gets the $300 million. P, which, this is going to be a business conversation. And this is why I said episode 3 is all about the business of Atlanta. So, is an artist owed money if the label you helped build gets sold? Now, that's a very interesting question. I'm going to give you some examples of how that question matters in a lot of aspects. When Spotify was coming to an agreement with Universal, and even when TikTok came to an agreement with Universal, there was a big lump sum that was paid out. Okay? It was paid out to Universal. Because of some of the bigger artists who campaigned, they said of that cut, they needed money. So essentially, Universal had to divide up some of the money they got and give to individual artists because they're saying, we built this company. You're not going to sell us like some slaves. But again, that's not everybody's demeanor to it. Some people are saying, well, the deal we had with us and you, Baby doesn't own part of QC. Baby doesn't own part of QC. Now, if they did the deal for $150 million for Lil Baby's career, Lil Baby would have gotten paid from Hybe because he would have to re-sign to Hybe. So it would have been an all-in-one deal, right? So it's like one of those sign and trade deals, if you follow basketball. Because they end up buying all the contracts and catalog, that doesn't have anything to do with Baby. Because Baby was owned by QC. Now, Baby's just owned by whoever who owns QC. So basically, you don't need Baby at all. You only need Baby if you need his contract to be with y'all in a new deal, if you get what I mean. So essentially, they get $300 million. Baby doesn't, I'm assuming he probably doesn't get much, or probably get anything at all. And Thug is in Baby's ear like, yo, not only you in business with a rat, yo, they just snaked you with the money. Word? Like, these niggas gonna get all that money and you ain't get nothing? So you could imagine Baby's now thinking about this. Not only is he looking weird on the street level, he might be getting fucked in business. Now, keep in mind, Thug at this point, we've never really seen Thug and P be buddy, but he works with QC artists all the time. P, and I think this is why P is this Thug. Because P, I'm telling you, the rat stuff came out, P don't care. But I think he disses Thug because if we think about where I keep going through, QC has gotten to, Thug might have played it close and tried to fuck up a lot of situations with QC. He's getting them to not fuck with their boss, not fuck with the label. There was a whole time you have Offset who's beefing with Baby. Like, this is everything that P got to try to micromanage. And imagine Thug is just gassing it in the side like, yo, word. Like, and they end up, I don't know where you think QC is at now as a label, but very different space, right? And I think that's why he probably takes it a little bit personal, because he's like, yo, this nigga Thug, he was a snake all along, planting seeds in my artist's ear on the street level, on the business level, and all that shit happened. Okay. All right. So now let's go to some of this jail call shit. Here we go.
On that label in the green that don't owe no money. Man, them niggas just sold that shit. But they did some bullshit. They sold the masters too though. That was some bullshit. But hell yeah, man. That was some bullshit. That was.
Yeah, that is some bullshit.
Now, this is another thing that might be egregious. Thug is one of those you're my brother type of guys. Yet he's on the phone with his girlfriend, pillow talking and talking about everybody. Hey, let me tell you this, man. This is why you think you're home. Yo, I usually have a rule of thumb. I don't care what niggas say he don't pillow talk. When a man got a girlfriend, when you tell that man something, just assume that he told his girl. Remember that.
And you know what?
That's gonna be cold.
Wait a second. Thug manipulate, baby like Watt manipulate me. How manipulate me?
That's cold.
I was wondering about that. Like, you know how at first he had told me that he wasn't feeling his situation? I hadn't heard that nowhere else, but now I started to hear it. I can't remember who said that.
Like when?
So he's not fucking with that. He's not feeling it.
Yeah, no, because you kicking that. I love you.
Now, here's the thing. And by the way, this is all the details coming out. And Chad, I always, like, this is why this is also not going to end up well. Anytime, I remember I told y'all, anytime an artist starts complaining, there's a few things happening. Also, when an artist just drops off, there's things happening. That's what, going back to the Drake point, people are like, yo, Ak, you're defending UMG. Like, you don't like the law, so you're defending UMG. I'm telling y'all, I'm making this point to y'all. Like, a label controls so much about an artist. The artist be thinking they're the shit. Oh, yeah, no, I'm the guy. Everybody loves me. Brother, they control everything around what you think that loves you. At a moment's notice, they could start turning the lights off. It might take a while. But labels don't plan. Like, you might care about the next 2 to 3 years. The labels could wait 4 to 5. Jimmy Iovine and Interscope did it to 50. There's nobody bigger than the program. Just remember that. Because what's if you're a fan, this is what I've always said about the Drake thing. Whatever metrics in your mind made you think Drake is as hot as he is, UMG controls. So if they ever want to say it's clipped, nigga, there is nothing. And I know y'all, because trust me, we want to believe that. Nah, we got a strong fan base. It ain't never going. No. That strong fan base without that label sells $200K. With the label and with all the bells and whistles, $600K. You see how that looks different? That's how it works. So, Baby was unhappy. Baby's unhappy with, I think, I forgot, he had mentioned reading up a couple times, right? Remember when he had asked for some money publicly and then supposedly he got it? But then what happened is, and I think there was a bunch of stuff happening too. Again, we don't know all the details, but I think it's going to come to light. QC, think about QC. I think P was playing, and I think this is another reason he's mad at Thug. I remember seeing Baby perform right after the Migos. It was at some celebrity. It was like the influencers where they were boxing and shit. Baby and and Migos performed right after each other. This is in the middle of their beef. And I remember seeing P there, and I seen Baby's son too. And I seen P, and I said, P, I said, man, you're a hell of a manager in the sense of you're managing two artists' ego. One artist, Migos, they think we built QC. This other artist, Baby, he's like, I'm the man. They're into beef. It supposedly got physical. And you still, because trust me, when these niggas are rappers getting their feelings, they will fuck up the bag over anything. They don't care. Nah, fuck that nigga. Or they'll try to crash out. Oh, you got them both backstage when this shit went left? So P did his best And I think he was playing babysitter for all these niggas' egos, all their emotions for a long time. Keep in mind, and QC was going to be the next Cash Money. Remember that. It was going to be the next Cash Money. It was going to be way more successful than Rockefeller, than all these other companies. The only comparison was going to be Cash Money. Why would P sell? I think P got tired of that shit. He's dealing with the city girls. At least Carisha looked like she's trying to sell box. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, Yachty's a good guy. Who else? Migos, they were beefing with P a bit. Remember, they sued P. They're unhappy because they probably feel P is taking favorites with Baby. Remember at the time, Baby dropped like 8 releases in a row and we ain't hear nothing from Migos? You think the Migos was happy? Like, oh yeah, no, it's just cool. Just let Baby drop every 2 weeks while we don't drop nothing. Nigga, they're tight. Offset matters fuck over all that other stuff. Then you know there's some other stuff, women stuff come in the mix. A lot of stuff. Got a little physical. A lot of stuff. Other people in their ear. Yo, why you... Yo. I think P said, fuck it. You know what? I cashed out. I could do this again, but I could do it. Let me cash out now before I try to think that I'm building up to $1 billion and the shit fall flat. Because in the next couple of years... We don't know what's going to happen in the Migos. By the way, this would be pre Takeoff Dine. We don't know what's going to happen with Baby. Like, this shit is, these chicks don't even want rap no more. We've hit a peak. Let me cash out. It's like selling the stock when you think it's at a high. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think he made a good decision. And by the way, he's good in the music game. He could do it again. Just do it again. Why not? So anyway, I say all that to say, apparently, like, behind the scenes, Baby was a little bit disgruntled.
You the only nigga that stayed down with me. When me and him was on the phone that night, you went to go see that nigga said out of his mouth. But, Shawty with me. Well, I got him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you saying that you got him on some fake cool shit, like, I got him. But you just sold him. You don't got him. You just sold him. You own 100% of this young nigga master, bro. That's not 1,000. That's fuck nigga shit, bro.
Okay, let me also interject. That's not fuck nigga shit. Young Thug, your first couple. That's why you dropped 45 albums. Respectfully, yo, chat. I'm telling you, I have a label. Unless a nigga comes in with mad clout, they will not own that first album masters. Drake is no way Drake owns So Far Gone or even Thank Me Later masters. It's impossible. If I got to invest and you're a nobody, I got to invest $250,000, $500,000, $1 million to get you pop off and you're going to have a lifetime career. Those masters I own. Now, you're publishing is something different. Masters and publishing very different. But those masters are mine. Okay? As you get more successful, these subsequent masters, we start splitting it at whatever leverage you're at. You probably will get it where we have 50-50 at some point. That's usually the goal. But nigga, you signed, like, you're nobody. That's how it goes.
You own 100% of him.
I wonder, like, why he didn't even offer to sell him some of it,
Man, he supposed to gave him some of it. But I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying...
Okay, I agree with that. You're supposed to give... Oh, was he talking about the money or the masters? Like, usually when you re-up, you start giving a little bit back to the masters back.
If you was going to do that, you might as well have just went to him and asked him, did he want to buy some of it back? You just going to sell it to somebody else. If it was a price on it, I'm sure he would have been willing to pay some of it, to get a piece of it instead of you just going and having a conversation without him fully and then selling it,
Yeah, it's for sure. But it's like, if I own 100% of Mariah and I'm finna sell my label and all the rights to all the music, all the copyrights, if I'm finna sell all that and make $375 million, but Mariah, the only person with me in the green, and it's my...
Wait, it was 375? Ooh, I thought the number was 300.
Be my folk, like, you ain't never took no meeting without me, like, you ain't never tried to cross me out, you ain't never did none of that. I'm gonna give you some of your masters, you see what I'm saying? I take...
Okay, and I agree with Thug with that, because if the idea was that you know, Baby could have went behind his back, got a deal to sign somewhere else, and then got his individual. Remember, Baby's the most coveted person at the time on QC. It would have saved Hybe money because they would have only needed. They really, I mean, of course, they're interested in the catalog, Migos catalog, Yachty's catalog, City Girl. Well, I don't think that catalog worth nothing, but still, yeah, it would have been important. They could have saved. What was it 375 minus 150? That would be 175 million. No, actually more. 375. They would have saved over 200 million, right? My math crazy? 375 minus 150. Yeah, 225 million. They would have saved $225 million. That's what? That's $250 million, damn near, right? So if they could just only sign Baby, and they think Baby is the only one with the upside, it's like signing Luka when he's 26, and you're like, damn, he's gonna at least give us the next 7-year run. And people at that time was thinking Baby's gonna give us another 5 years with prime music, just going crazy.
300 million before I take 375 million. I take 300 million and give you 75 million worth of your rights back. Cause if I sell the shit and make 375 million, I'm already thinking in my mind I got to give you the 75 million anyway. So before I do that, I ain't gonna even take the money. I'm gonna just give you 75 million of your shit. So and your shit steady growing. If you hold your shit for 2-3 years, you gonna get you 100 million for it. If you hold it for 2-3 more years, you gonna get you 100 million. That shit might accumulate 25 more million. 15, 10 more million, whatever. Like you might sell that shit in 3 years and get 80 million, 85 million. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really on some, boy, I love you. Like man, you my little brother. Cause if you take Wham out of the picture, he probably get 100 million. Ooh. If you take Wham out of the picture.
Okay. I
know for sure you made 275 million on Wham, for sure. 100%. He in the green. He not in the red. The label owe him. He don't owe no label nothing. Mm-hmm. Every label he signed the 2 labels. Both of them motherfuckers owe him. You wouldn't believe that? But goddamn, yeah, that was some sucker shit. That was some bullshit. I ain't gonna lie. See, I thought he just sold the label. I'm like, damn, boy, that's big. Like, but yo must have caught.
Yeah, but selling the label means selling what the label owns. The label owns masters. The label owns a lot of IP. Yeah, why would I? It's like buying Apple, but I don't own the iPhone. Imagine buying the company Apple, and they're like, yeah, you just bought the logo and the name, but you didn't buy the iPhone. You're like, no. Apple owns the iPhone. So if I bought Apple, I buy the iPhone, right?
You sold a label for 300-something million. What the fuck? Man, your ass sold the goddamn copyrights. Man, you sold everything. You went out bad. Man, you could have got $600-700 million for that shit, nigga. But your ass went out bad. Like, bad. What wrong with that nigga? But now you telling Wham, hold on, I need to talk to you about something serious, but you just holding him off. It's like me telling you, I need to talk to you about something serious. I got a hoe pregnant, but I ain't telling you what it is. I'm just like, baby, I need to talk to you. This shit's serious. But I'm trying to wait till I get the abortion to tell you. Shit like that. Like, now I got the abortion. Now it came out on the internet. Boom, Young Thug has a girl pregnant, but paid for the abortion. Now I'm just telling you, like, man, that's what I've been trying to talk to you about. Man, you could have been talking to me about that shit. You got damn.
Okay, so it looked like he's trying to say almost like Baby found out that they sold the label for 300. Yo, chat, it's always money that caused these artists to get on really bad terms with their label. I always told y'all, Uzi was cool with Generation Now, and then he heard the number that EXO Tour Life made $40-something million, one song alone. His entire deal wasn't even for, I think, like 1/4 of that. So when he figured he made one song that made the label $47 million, or 44, I think it was, $44 million, and the money he had gotten from it was like 4. He got like 1/10 of that. He was unhappy. He was very unhappy. He was like, damn, I did all the work, and they're getting 9/10 of the profits. Of course.
You know what I mean? You keep like, I need to talk to you about something. Man, like, what's up? What's up, nigga? Talk. We gonna talk. Yeah, you trying to say that until you get the deal done, because Wham can stop the deal. You know what I'm saying? the people only getting buying your label because of Wham. They not buying your label because no motherfucking Migos. Them niggas in the red. Them niggas ain't making no money, huh? Watch out.
Oh shit! Why you shit on the Migos like that? Niggas in the red. Them niggas ain't making no money on.
Nigga in the red. You know what I'm saying? Like one or two of them done bought their shit back from your ass anyway. Done gave your ass 15, 20 million of they little hard earned money. Bought their shit back, so you damn sure got all them anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, you 100% wrong. I wouldn't ever do no shit like that, especially to no nigga like Wayne. That nigga solid. He really solid. That's one nigga I can say in this world that's really, really solid. He not gonna cross you out. He ain't doing none of that. That nigga says, Scooter Braun DM'd him, said, yo, bro, let's have a meeting. He told Scooter Braun, shit, I'm bringing P. Scooter Braun like, you ain't gonna need to bring P. Wayne like, man, I don't really be doing that with Scooter Braun. He told Wham that. Wham like, I don't really be doing no business with that, bro.
Oh wow! So look like Scooter Braun was just trying to do a deal with Baby. So this is how it works. It's like it's a sign and trade essentially when you're buying somebody out of a deal. So you got to go to the person you're gonna sign and be like, hey, I'm gonna give you this, okay? Then you go to the person who has their deal. So you got to agree with both sides. And usually the person who has your contract, unless he's just trying to fuck you over, they're going to realize, hey, listen, it's like Yachty. Yachty wants somebody to do a sign and trade with Caribou, right? Pay me, pay her, let's cut the ties.
You know what I'm saying? That my big homie, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never doing that with bro. Like, shout out part of everything I do. Scooter Braun like, okay, cool. He started him Wham and hit P. P went straight and took the meeting without Wham. I talked to Wham on the phone. I said, what you think he gonna give you out that money? I said, you think he gonna give you 75 million or 100 million? He like, shit. I'm like, be always real. Do you think he gonna give you 75 to 100 million out that deal? Be always real. He like, hell no, I don't think that nigga gonna do it right like that. But Scooter Braun offered Wham 150 million. Scooter Braun told Wham, I want to buy your rights. So I'm gonna give you 150 million. Wham said, this nigga, nah, I'm cool. I gotta bring P to the meeting. Man, that nigga went straight around Wham and called P and bought the whole label from P. The whole conversation started from Scooter Braun trying to buy Lil Wham, trying to buy him out of the deal too. He wanted to buy Wham out of the deal. Like, I want you to be with me. Wham like, shit, you gotta talk to P. You gotta talk to P about that. Man, nigga, P crossed that nigga red hot, worst way. I'm on the phone with Wham. He just like, man, that nigga Scooter Braun try to have the same deal with me, the same meeting with me. I tell that nigga, I ain't really doing that without P. You know, I'm just solid. Man, P go take the meeting without Wham and get the business done. Of course, a nigga get the business done for $300-400 million for sure, but goddamn, bro. Wham said, I know he ain't finna give me 75 million. I said, you think he'll give you a 50? He like, hell no, I don't think that nigga gonna come out no 50. He gonna try to play some game. Why would I tell you? He gonna try to play game. I'm like, damn, bro, that's crazy. It's crazy that you didn't know it. I knew I was talking, but I just wanted to hear what Wham was saying. Like, what you think he gonna do? Wham like, I don't know. He said he probably try to come with 10-15 million, some shit like that, like straight trial, nigga. Man, y'all nigga better. Man, that's where the problem come in at. Y'all both have real problem about that. Real problem about that.
Damn. So Thug is basically saying that Baby should be beefing with him niggas if he don't get 75 million out of that deal.
Yeah, man. He'll be all right. Hang on, nigga. One thing about it, when you solid like that.
By the way, this is why P called Thug broke. He called Thug broke because he probably have heard about this. Maybe Gunna sent it to him already, right? Because P allows Offset to work with Gunna, right? Not that P give a fuck about the snitching stuff, but from what we now know, it looks like Thug was down to really go crazy or wanted Baby to go crazy on P over money. And I think maybe P's looking at like, damn, you gotta be broke if you want somebody their loyalty depends on money. I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it a little different. I'll read what he had said about Thug. He said, imagine some broke ass rats like Young Thug, and Pee Wee Ratsko. That's a funny name. Trying to run a rat narrative on me and all my niggas. I love running with these hoe-ass niggas knowing how these niggas talk about me. I'm going to say this for the last time. I'm not no street nigga. I'm a tax-paying citizen that's running a business and taking care of my family. All the street niggas is broke, dead and in jail. Why y'all continue to glorify this shit? The streets been dead. Y'all niggas gave the city a bad name. Then he said, and by the way, I ain't never been in no courtroom on no niggas, sat in an interrogation room running niggas' names, and I don't speak on the dead, so I don't care enough to explain the situation. Y'all boys the police. Y'all niggas mad. Y'all not me. Let's get back to it.
God got you. God gonna make sure you straight. Cause you ain't did no bullshit to nobody. None of your people. Yeah, that's a real fuck nigga shit, that boy. Ooh, woo. Come on, I got one. I really want to see what he gonna give him. The deal, I guess he's still waiting on the deal to get done. A big deal like that shit be taking like 6 to 8 months, man. That shit might not be done until next year. A big deal. I can't wait to see what he did, what he gave him. See, that boy kept that shit funky. I know he gonna try some sucker shit. Yeah. He gonna try some bullshit. He gonna get Yachty $2-3 million. He gonna try to get whammed by Dub. Knowing damn well you gonna get a young nigga a real $7,500 million of that money, boy. For sure. For sure.
That's fucked up. I hate that for him.
Yeah. But nigga like that grow forever though, you know. When you be like that, you grow forever. God makes sure you just grow forever.
I know, but I just want like YP, you see, and so when he had took me over there to that thing, like that day I had to meet with him and he took me to that little thing and he was building and this and that, I was looking at it and I was thinking to myself like, you know, like I get it, I respect the fact that he had like this vision and stuff, but the only thing I could think of was he is just like a truly greedy man, you know? He truly is greedy. Like, I'm not just saying it just because. It's just like, you just sold your company for $300 million, and the first thing you did, you didn't go nowhere. You didn't pay no respect to God or none of that. You came straight home and tried to sign somebody else. And then when you was walking around in the thing, I was listening to him talk, and then he said some shit like, yeah, man, we finna sign this gospel thing, this gospel group. Yeah, we going all the way. We taking the whole market share. I mean, what is it called? Market share. And I was thinking to myself, you finna exploit this gospel group so that you can have the biggest possible market share.
Why you giggle like that?
Yeah, of all genres. Like, at that point, I just started thinking to myself, well, you'll stop at nothing.
Yeah. I mean, that's how life is, though. You don't supposed to stop at nothing, but you're still supposed to be solid. You know, like, I would definitely go get me $300-400 million for sure, but I'm going to be solid, too, though. Out of that $300-400 million, I'm going to walk off with $200, though. I'm giving Wham $75 million. I'm giving Migos them $10-15 million apiece. I'm gonna goddamn give boat $5-10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna walk off with less than half of that money. By the time I'm done, like, nigga, we did this shit, nigga. Straight out the trench with it. Fuck y'all nigga doing. Everybody goddamn. Cause you gotta think all those artists who signed to him, when they seen that deal, I know every one of them artists probably said in their mind, damn, but we finna get some. You know what I'm saying? Every one of them artists probably was thinking in their mind like, oh yeah, but
Chat, you know what I need? I need this somebody sent me this as a, what do you call it again? I need for my soundboard. I need Trump, wrong.
But I notice were they wrong?
Are they wrong?
I think they're wrong 100%. Sometimes they're wrong.
Again.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Right there. That one right there.
Over and over again.
Wrong.
Wrong.
he gonna do it right. He finna get everybody something. You know what I'm saying? Now just imagine you not getting that though. Imagine you thinking like, but he finna do it right with everybody. and the nigga not finna do us right. Just think about that part. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Bullshit. It's some bullshit, boy. You know it. That's bullshit. When the nigga just got that little grim laugh, like, yeah, I got these folks.
And you know, I told you how he sent me that invitation to his birthday party. I mean, he texted and said, I'm finna send an invitation out to my birthday party. Come through, blah, 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 whatever he said. I'm like, this is before I seen the paperwork stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. What's the thing? He ain't say nothing back. Then the paperwork stuff came out, like the next day. Then just today, baby, he sends me an invitation. And I just wonder, like, was he really thinking in his head, you know, just based on the circumstances and things that have obviously come to light about him, especially considering the circumstance, the love of my life is in, that I would come to something like that?
Maybe he do. Maybe you know, niggas. The crazy thing about it is, niggas think girls don't be on that. You know what I'm saying? That's a real fact. Niggas don't think women be on that. You know what I'm saying? Because women really don't be on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, a woman is a woman. Women do not be on that. Women ain't running around like, well, you a rat, I ain't fucking with you. Like, these bitches still running around fucking the hell out of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, these niggas still running around fucking every day, all day. Like, women women, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't on that. You know, you can't be mad at that. It's a fucking girl. Like, what you expect? You know, girls ain't waking up like, oh, he ain't do us right. He ain't keep it real. Girls not on that. Girls is girls. Whenever you get through, man, a girl is a bitch is a bitch. Whenever you get through. What?
That was an accident, guys. He was using the phone and trying to help me get the ring out from under the couch. But yeah, that's crazy. Do you think that anybody knew that already? They knew that already?
Yeah.
Or this is new information to emerge?
Everybody knew that. Well, everybody in the city. Everybody in the rap game probably didn't know it. You know, like older niggas like Jay-Z, all them type niggas. I didn't know that. But everybody in Atlanta know.
So I'm confused. So he testified against somebody?
You talking about Pete?
I understand. I fear for my life. The man killed my friend.
That's what he did?
I fear for my life. Read the
See,
paperwork.
this is my honest opinion is that it's one thing for the police to be like, do you know who killed your friend? I feel like it's one thing to be like, I know who killed him. But it's another thing for you to understand and testify against somebody.
Nah, ain't no one thing to say I know who killed my friend. Man, who killed your friend?
I'm just
I don't know.
little confused on about him.
Like, the police didn't know nothing about him. P gave the information about him. Like, because the friend died in the spot. So it's like the police get there, it's just a dead body. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea on what happened. The police is like blind to the fact. Like, he gave them the information. Like, man, this man, I know who I seen. This man killed my friend. Y'all not gonna tell me who I seen. One of them. Went to court. Went to the nigga trial. Nigga named Stunner. Went to his trial. Yeah. Did what wrong. You know it. That nigga know he did what's wrong. Not right. No.
Stop, Tootie.
He was in the spot. Him and his friend got robbed. I think the friend tried to book. The friend tried to book on the nigga and got killed.
And he went and told the police.
Yeah, I told. Right then, called the police. Stayed at the house. Called the police. Police got there. Hey, they got named Stunner. No, he left. He called the police and left. I guess it was something out.
Did you guess what?
I said, I guess it was something in the house, so he didn't stay in the house.
Mm.
Yeah. He called the pigs and left. That's a fact. Police got there. Nobody went in the house. Just a dead man. You know. He told him off top. I know who did it. Now the nigga, so Pete left out the house. I guess he didn't want the police to know that he was in the spot. So he left out the spot. And then he seen the nigga in the mall, I think a month later. He called the police in the mall. Hey man, I see the man who killed my friend in the mall. Then he
lined him up and everything.
Yes, he came in the store, pulled the gun out, told the nigga get on the ground, like, man, fuck nigga, get on the ground.
That's what P did?
Yes. P put the gun on
to the nigga.
P put the gun on the nigga so the nigga couldn't leave them all. Then the police came there and got him. He made him stay in there till the police got there. He said, this man killed my friend. I'm scared for my life. He trying to kill me. That's a fact. That's a finished fact. He used to be signed to Gucci. P used to be signed to Gucci Man. When Gucci Man found out that shit, he dropped the nigga. Because P used to try to rap.
Well, they still friends, so how's that?
Yeah. Ended up going to jail. I guess he just got him turned soft. Started fucking with a nigga.
I think P held down Gucci. Like, I think P was, when niggas get locked up, there's a lot of finance. And I think P was really, he was really supportive. Like, I remember when Gucci just came out, we saw P a lot. I think he gave him a car, something like that. P from QC gives Gucci, man. He gave him some shit. Uh-huh. Yeah, he got a bunch of shit. Yeah, P. Yeah, right here. Yeah, P gifted it. I think he had to give him a car too. Let's see what else. Fuck. I can't go back now. Yeah, they were chilling. They went to the casino. They were hitting the jackpot. All that.
Yeah, that's a real fact, though.
I'm sorry to hear this.
Yeah, that's life. That's how it go, I guess. Yeah, he got to understand. Got to understand. Yeah, that man right here smoked my friend. I'm scared for my life. Yeah, Pierre Thomas.
Stop, Tootie.
Little man used to want to leak that shit so bad. When that shit got leaked, I said, you did that. He told my mama ain't do that. Yeah, I knew it. I know your mustache leaked that, boy. My mama ain't do that on Johnny. Yeah, on that same Johnny you did it. Damn, boy. He even want to leak that shit so bad. Him and P got into it. He used to be like super cool with the Migos at one point. Then him and P got into it because he hit P and said, man, damn, big bro, I can't believe you. Shit. Then P ended up seeing him. P ended up seeing Lil Man out somewhere and told Lil Man, I don't know if I should dap you or goddamn clap you. Lil Man said, but you don't want to do that. That's a bad idea, Jack. You do not want to do that.
Okay, now